Let's get your take first on the producer prices. A little bit, they did shrink, a little bit better than expected. They're up on the month. What's your outlook generally for the zone?
Well, I think the euro area is on the verge of deflation, and that prices are more likely to decline than to rise, and that growth is close to a standstill. And this is the same story. It's very hard to see how growth could recover anytime soon in the euro area for a lot of reasons.
I know we're waiting.
Yeah.
I know we're waiting for some report cards from the EU. The projections. Germany expecting, I think, a could do better report. Do you fear the recent raft of poor data in Germany will continue, or do you think we're going to see that powerhouse creeping back in?
No, I think September industrial production will surprise on the upside in Germany, just as August IP surprised on the downside. I really think that you need to go through the volatility of this kind of data. You need to trust the business surveys, look at the IFO survey, look at the INSEE survey, and you get the real picture of the economy. And this picture is not beautiful at all. It is something like zero growth, not significantly negative, but stagnation. And I'm afraid that this is going to continue.
Who else are you particularly worried about in the Eurozone?
I think the main economic risk in the Eurozone is Italy. Italy has been in recession for more than 3 years, which means that debt is rising, and we have just learned, we had suspicions, that the banking system is not in good shape at all. So Italy is the main economic risk. France is the main political risk, because it's very, very hard to implement supply-side reforms in France. And if France doesn't do reforms, there will be no fiscal stimulus coming from Germany.
How much pressure on Draghi this week, especially on the back of the Bank of Japan? Clearly he doesn't want to seem too reactive, to be acting too quickly, but the euro's got to worry him. When you look at euro-yen, when we look at euro-dollar, what do you think he's going to do?
I think now the ECB has a strategy, which is to increase the size of its balance sheet by buying assets, which is discretionary decision by the ECB. It's a very clear strategy. Although Draghi was very cautious last month, I think this month he will be a bit more outspoken because the ECB has started to buy assets. The idea is to depreciate the euro by expanding the balance sheet, while the Fed is now not expanding anymore its own balance sheet. And it's mostly a euro-dollar story. The yen is a story of its own, and it is true that Kuroda is putting some pressure on the ECB, but I think the ECB is facing a lot of political constraints, and what's going on in Japan is not going to interfere.